Good evening. This is the Change, and tonight we're going to talk about the opioid epidemic, serious issue. I've lost some of my best friends to the opioid epidemic, two opioids, some of my closest friends, lifelong friends. It's hard to find someone who has not been affected by the drug. Yes, it is. It's hard to find someone who doesn't have a story to share with how the drug has affected them personally. It's an evil drug. And I wouldn't say it was an overnight, you know, an overnight sensation, but it sure seemed like it exploded to near biblical proportion not too far back. Where I am from, anyway. I don't know if every neighborhood is like my own, but it is really a problem in most city areas where lower income communities, you know what I mean? Really hits them the hardest. Uh, it's a quick, you know, dopo hit, dopamine, and that's a bad deal. It's easy to get addicted to that dopo hit. Very easy. But I have different ideals than most people. Why it came on so hard, and so suddenly. Not with really the mainstream narrative on that. And I'm going to ask you, if you'd like what I have to say, to follow me. If you don't agree with what I have to say, comment and tell me why I am wrong. Enlighten me. That's my goal, is to enlighten you and to talk about the issues that don't get airplay, that you don't see on Fox, you don't see on CNN, you don't see anywhere else, even other commentators. They're not going to talk about the issues I talk about, because I make it a point to shed light on the darkest of issues. And there ain't no issue darker than the opioid epidemic. I can assure you that, because we've lost, I don't know what the numbers are. I'm sure it'll say in this article I'm going to pull up. I have not read this article because, like I said, I don't agree with the mainstream narrative. And I'm going to ask you to listen to why I don't agree with the mainstream narrative. I have personal information about the opioid epidemic. I dealt with it personally. I did opioids for years. Years. Torture. Torturous years. I hurt the people that care about me the most just by being high. So I have vested interest in this issue. I dare say you're not going to find too many commentators with as much knowledge on the topic as I have. We'll go to the article, but like I said, I don't agree with what they have to say, really. I can't say that I haven't read the article, but I know where they're going to go with it. Where's this from? CBS News, of course. Fentanyl seizures rise at U.S.-Mexico border. Here's why. This is by Nicole Skaganda, Camilo Montoya Galvez. Okay, that wasn't a mouthful at all. Sweet, easy name. The spike in fentanyl-related overdose deaths in the United States has fueled a national conversation and a redoubling of the government's efforts to curb its smuggling. In 2021, 90% of some 80,000 opioid-related deaths involved fentanyl, federal statistics show. Most fentanyl is being smuggled into the United States along the southern border, often in vehicles driven by American citizens, as cartels and other criminal groups in Mexico have turned the production of the synthetic opioid into a clandestine industry that has become the primary source of fentanyl in the United States, according to the DEA. Is that so? Since President Joe Biden took office, Republicans have sought to link the spike in fentanyl-related deaths with the record numbers of migrants who have entered U.S. custody along the Mexican border. The Biden administration's handling of a historic influx in illegal border crossings, Republican lawmakers claim, has allowed fentanyl to be smuggled into the United States at higher rates and fueled the opioid crisis. It's a problem, but it ain't the only problem, I promise that. But yeah, Biden's wide open borders, yeah, that's a problem. The debate over how the deadly drug is being smuggled was on full display earlier this week when the Republican-led House of Representatives held its first hearing on the U.S. border policy. While no Biden administration officials were called to testify, House Judiciary Committee Democrats accused Republicans of spreading misinformation. Quote, "What I find particularly pernicious is the attempt to conflate the issues of migrants seeking asylum through our legal processes with the very real scourge of fentanyl trafficking," end quote, said Mary Gay Scanlon, Democrat of Pennsylvania. Quote, "Do you care precisely whether or not fentanyl is coming through ports of entry or between ports of entry when your family was directly impacted because fentanyl is flooding into our communities," said GOP Rep. Chip Roy of Texas. During a briefing with reporters Thursday, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said it was, quote, unequivocally false that fentanyl is being brought to the United States by non-citizens encountered in between the ports of entry who are making claims of credible fear and seeking asylum, end quote. Mayorkas goes on to say the vast majority is sought to be smuggled through the ports of entry and tractor-trailer trucks and passenger vehicles. While successful fentanyl smuggling rates aren't calculated by the government, seizures of fentanyl along the southern border have in fact risen sharply in recent years. Experts say only a fraction of fentanyl is seized by the border agents between the ports of entry, with virtually none transported by migrants seeking asylum within the United States. Obviously, a wide open border is a problem. They keep mentioning, they mention stuff like none of the migrants are have any fentanyl on them. You think they just got a big backpack full of fentanyl and they're marching up to none of them that we encounter. Do you think you're encountering the smugglers? That's the stupid stuff, man. That's stupid. Smugglers are not just stupid. They're just going to come walking down the road with a bale full of weed, are they? I'm just going to come walking down the street with 50 kilos in a backpack. They're sneaking it. That's a problem. That's a problem. The wide open border is a problem. Oh, all of the gotaways and it, they don't know how many people and who is crossing the southern border. They cannot stop everyone. They cannot ask who everyone is. They cannot ID everyone who comes across. That is a problem. Terrorists, people on the terror watch list have been stopped crossing into the United States. How many do you think just leave and then come back another way? I mean, come on, man. Come on, dude. Nobody cares about the Mexican farmer who wants to come north and make some money. I don't care about that. I don't. I'll put him to work right now. Come on, dude. Let's go do a roof. The problem is the terrorists, the gang members, the drug dealers, the drug users, the people who build bombs, maybe? The members of the CCP? Maybe? Maybe that's a problem? I see this footage all the time. I'm not even going to roll it because it's so egregious. It's like these 20-year-old dudes with crew cuts from China. There's like 50 of them. And they all look kind of military-ish. The high and tight, the sir, yes, sir haircut. 20-year-old Chinese dudes, 50 of them, not skinny, and look like they're in decent shape. They've done a couple push-ups. You think they're just here for McDonald's? That's a whole nother topic, but you're not a country without borders. You're not. It's the non-border stuff. Go to Europe. There's borders. You have to cross borders to go to different countries. This is non-border stuff is all globalist stuff. Just like the whole transhuman issue, not transsexual, transhumanist issue. Oh, we're all just people who live on this planet. That's a globalist agenda. Globalist. If you don't claim you're proud to be an American, no, you don't want to be proud to be an American. We all just live on planet Earth. That's globalist rhetoric. That's globalist propaganda. We are Americans. Love your country. I don't say it, but some people say love it or leave it. Love it or leave it. Be thankful to be here. I am. It's the greatest country ever created. And the people that are destroying it didn't build it. Did not build it. San Francisco. People are leaving there. LA. People are leaving there in droves. People are destroying property. Beautiful properties. Architects, genius, brilliant architecture. People are destroying. It's a communist attitude. This globalist stuff is a communist attitude. Let's just destroy everything. And then the government can take over because we can control the government. Yeah. Go shut that church down. Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, destroy the whole building. Just destroy it. That 500-year-old church. Yeah. Burn it down. That's evil. Evil. But I digress. obviously. The point of this is opioids, specifically fentanyl. You hear all this talk, especially from the right. Like the Democrats don't really care. They're like, yeah, let them all die. Seems intentional. Doesn't it seem intentional to you? Remember crack? 1980s, late 70s, early 80s, crack when it hit the streets in the low income communities, ravaged, ravaged the streets, destroyed communities, destroyed families. That seemed intentional too, didn't it? Do you know who makes fentanyl? I mean, really makes fentanyl, right? Do you know? I know. I know. Have you ever heard of Pfizer? Ever heard of them? They make fentanyl. That's who makes fentanyl. Little light bulb going off over your head? It should be. Doesn't it seem weird? Oh my God, we're having a fentanyl epidemic. Hmm. One, two, three, four. Are the clues coming together? Are they? They should be. I'm laying it out for you. If there is a fentanyl epidemic, why are pharmaceutical companies developing the drug? Why? Ask yourself that, please. Ask yourself why. If there is a opioid epidemic, they would still be producing those. It's really worth asking yourself. Oh, record number of overdoses. All this fentanyl is finding its way into the streets of low income communities. It's always low income communities. Always. You know, you know what the um, eugenics used to call low income communities? Feeble communities. Feeble communities. They didn't think we had the right to live. So they did really evil things. I'm going to make a video on it because I wrote down a bunch of information about the eugenics people and what atrocities they did. But it seems like it's intentional. You know, we can't put anything past our government these days, if you know what I mean. You know, we can't. Not after 2020. They they lost the privilege of getting the benefit of the doubt. We don't give you the benefit of the doubt anymore. Tell us something, we don't listen because you lie. You lie. No more. Give us some proof. All the top secret and classified documents, the billions of classified documents. You're lying, you're hiding, you're omitting, doing all that. Clean it up. If only there were a dude who we could elect who would clean it up. Hmm. Uh, well, not him. No, he's a globalist. No, not him. He takes globalist money. No, not him. Not her. Not him. Wait, wait. There's one guy. Well, but he, you know, says mean jokes. Get involved. Get involved in your community. Know your neighbors. Be trustworthy. Stay in touch with the people you love. Take care of your kids. Teach them well. Teach your children well. I guess I'll leave it there. This has been the Chains Change. Follow me. I need support. Follow me. I comment if you want me to talk about eugenics and the atrocities they did. I honestly believe they're still around. That's why I said that. Like, that's why I connected the two, eugenics and fentanyl and crack and smallpox. And I'm not going to say that jab thing because I won't say that jab thing, that jab thing, that jab thing. I won't say that jab thing. But this has been the Change. Follow me, share my stuff, comment. That's why I'm here. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. I'm here to learn too. But don't not watch the video and comment and tell me how dumb I am if you didn't even watch the video. These are my opinions. If you prove me wrong, I'll admit it. I have no problem learning. I like it. My thirst for knowledge will never, ever, ever be quenched. Never. Tonight, I am the dreaming awakener. Don't forget to get linked. Thank you.